Hi friends, my name is Krishna. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We discussed about subsidiary books. When I say subsidiary books, purchase book, sales book, purchase returns book, sales returns book. Now we are in cash book. Even within cash book, we already spoke about simple cash book, double column cash book, triple column cash book. We have completed these three, and now we are going to get into petty cash book today. This will be the last topic in cash book. After this, we are supposed to move on to bills receivable book, bills payable book, and journal proper, but I'm not going to get into it. You know why? Bills payable, bills receivable, journal proper. These are the three different chapters altogether. We are going to discuss them separately as a separate chapter. Okay, so that is the reason we are not going to get into that. As soon as the petty cash book is over, I'm going to get into rectification of errors. Right? So that is the agenda for today. We are going to discuss about what is the purpose of preparing petty cash book and how the specimen is going to be. What do you mean by Imprest System? What is the meaning of Imprest System? And we will also work one illustration, which is as usual extracted from institute material. Right? So that's all we are going to discuss today. Let us not waste much time. Get into the PPT. Okay? Right. Okay, guys. Let us get into petty cash book. Before we get into petty cash book, I wanted to tell you this cash book will be maintained by whom? Generally, these cash books are being maintained by a person called cashier. These cash books are being prepared by a person called cashier. You go to any organization, business organization, bigger ones I can say, relatively bigger ones, right? There will be a separate cashier who will be taking care of cash transactions. I can say treasury transactions, right? It can be one or it can be many, depends on the size of the organization, right? So these cashiers are two types: main cashier and petty cashier. There are two types of cashiers. Who are they? Main cashier and petty cashier. What is this main cashier? He is the boss. He is the boss. He will be the one managing both petty cash as well as main cash. With he is the team leader. He is the head. Main cashier is the head. He is the maintaining all cash activities. Under him there will be a petty cashier as well. Right? What is this main cashier responsibility? Main cashier is the responsible person for all cash transactions and bank. Getting my point? Petty cashier also will be there. Who is this petty cashier? What is his role? What is he doing, this petty cashier? He will be handling the petty expenses. What are those petty expenses? The petty expenses are, let us say, postage. For example, if you want to buy some postage cards or posting related, postage related, expenses you need to. They are all petty expenses, small expenses, right? Small payments. You wanted to send one person to bank, so you need to give him auto fare, or you need to give him bus fare, or you need to give him some taxi fare, right? And there will be some small stationery items we buy, small repairs we do. So these are all called what? Petty expenses, petty payments. Small, petty is nothing but small payments. For that, do you need main cashier? Main cashier is the bigger one. He manages all big payments. A petty cashier, he maintains a separate cash book. That cash book is called petty cash book. Petty cashier maintains a separate cash book. For what? For petty expenses, small expenses, he will maintain a separate cash book. That cash book is called petty cash book. That cash book is called petty cash book. So what is the responsibility of the petty cashier? Whoever goes to him and say, boss, I need to go to bank. I need some 20 rupees for bus charge. He will give 20 rupees to him. Somebody goes to him and say, boss, I need to buy some postal stamps. Can you please give me 100 rupees? So he will give 100 rupees to him for postage. Somebody says there is some small repair to the computer or small repair to the furniture. So he will give, okay, how much it will cost? 20 rupees, sir. Give 20 rupees. Somebody else will come and say, sir, I need to go by taxi. There is no bus facility. I have to go and withdraw the cash and come to the office. So give me some 100 bucks for a taxi. So he'll give 100 rupees. For that, small expenses, people need not go and disturb main cashier. They need not go and disturb main cashier. They can go to petty cashier and say, boss, give me this small. Where from he will get that amount? He will get that amount from main cashier only. Petty cashier will get some amount from main cashier, right? So he will use that amount for that particular month or a particular week or whatever be the period they decided between themselves. They maintain that. So whatever petty expenses you pay, you need to provide a voucher to him. For example, if I go by taxi, I need to provide taxi bill. If I go by auto, I have to give auto receipt bill. Do you think auto people are going to give the bill? Somewhere in a white paper or somewhere you need to write and give it to him. Petty auto expenses are this much. Postal stamps, you need to give him a bill saying that this is a postal. So there is no proper voucher for this, but some authentication you need to provide to him saying that this is what I spent, and they all those expenses are supposed to be authorized by someone. What do you mean by authorized? It's not that any Tom and Dicky will go and ask for the payment from petty cashier. He will not give. He will give it to the people who are authorized to take. They have to get an approvals. For example, if I am working in purchase department, okay, purchase manager has to give authorization. Yeah, I'm sending one person. Can you please give him 100 rupees so that he will go and buy some postal stamps? I need some postal stamps. He will write it in voucher and give it to him, saying that 100 rupees required for postal stamps. He will write a manual cash voucher and a petty cash voucher, and he will give that voucher. He will send that voucher along with his person to the petty cashier. Petty cashier will look at the voucher. Okay, 100 rupees sanctioned. So he will take that voucher and give 100 rupees. So for every expenditure, there should be a voucher, cash voucher, petty cash voucher available with the petty cashier. Whoever wants to take petty expenses from the petty cashier, they have to come and submit the voucher. Voucher is nothing but a kind of document which says, I am asking I am asking petty cashier to pay me this much amount towards these expenses. There will be a format given to us. That format they will fill and send it to the petty cashier. Petty cashier, by looking at the form, and he will see who is the one authorizing, whether this person is authorized person to take this amount or not. He will look into it and he will give this amount to the person. That's all. So once all these expenses vouchers are received, he will prepare a statement. He will prepare a statement which talks about, okay, these are all the expenses I incurred. That statement is called petty cash book. Who prepares this petty cash book? Petty cashier will prepare. Based on what? The vouchers submitted by the people and took the amount, right? So based on those vouchers, he will prepare a petty cash book. And that petty cash book will be submitted to main cashier by end of the month or by end of the week or whatever be the timelines they decided to submit to the main cashier. They will follow those instructions. Are you clear? So petty cashier is the one prepares the petty cash book. Petty cash book is nothing but a small statement which shows the petty expenses incurred in a particular period. That can be a month or week or a fortnight, whatever it may be. So that statement is called petty cash book. Now, I hope you are clear on this. Next point is, once I incur the petty, if I want to incur the petty expenses, I have to have the money, right? Suppose I am the petty cashier. If I want to incur the petty expenses, I have to have the money in my pocket. No. Where from I get the amount? Who will give me this amount? How frequently they give me this amount? That amount will be given by the main cashier to the petty cashier. What main cashier will do is, he will give, okay, Mr. Petty Cashier, you take this 1,000 rupees with you. He will give that amount as an advance. What main cashier does? He will give 1,000 rupees. I'm just taking an example. It can be 500, it can be 200, it can be 1,000, it can be 2,000. It depends on the amount decided between main cashier and petty cashier. They will decide the amount, and main cashier will give 1,000 bucks to petty cashier and say, hey, Mr. Petty Cashier, I'm giving you 1,000 rupees as an advance. You incur these expenses, and once you complete or exhaust this 1,000, come to me with your statement saying that these are the expenses I incurred. You reimburse that amount to me. So let us say within 10 days this 1,000 rupees are gone. Then what petty cashier will do? Within 10 days he will prepare that petty cash book saying that these are all the expenses incurred, and he will show the account statement to the main cashier and say, boss, you gave me 1,000 rupees and these are all the expenses I incurred, and you reimburse that amount. So he will give that petty cash statement to the main cashier and he will take another 1,000 rupees from him. This system is called Imprest System of petty cash. Imprest, what do you mean by imprest? Imprest is nothing but advancing the amount. Advancing the amount for particular expenses. Imprest system is nothing but advancing the amount for certain expenses. What are the certain expenses here? Small payments. So main cashier is giving imprest to the petty cashier. Main cashier is giving advance to the petty cashier. In accounting terms, main cashier is giving imprest to the petty cashier. That is nothing but advance amount. So he gave 1,000 rupees as an imprest to the petty cashier. Then as soon as he receives the petty cash, what petty cashier will do? He will record that in his books and start incurring the expenses within a month. Suppose if within a month, if 1,000 rupees are completed, exhausted, he is preparing the statement, right? He will take that statement and goes to the main cashier and say, main cashier, I have done all my expenses and I don't have money. Can you please advance me again? What he says? I already exhausted my amount. Can you please advance me that amount? Can you please imprest me that amount? That is called imprest amount. So imprest system is nothing but advancing the amount for particular expenses is called imprest system, not impresting. Imprest system of petty cash. Are you clear now? So you need to understand what do you mean by imprest. Imprest is nothing but an advance amount given for petty expenses. That's all. So for every expenditure, you have to have the voucher in place. Voucher number, sequence should be given. Are you clear so far? So let me finalize the conclusion here. Petty cash book is nothing but a petty a statement prepared by the petty cashier for all petty expenses incurred during the month. And these petty expenses will be incurred by petty cashier based on the advance amount given by the main cashier. That advance money is nothing but an imprest money. So once the imprest is given to the petty cashier, he will incur the expenses, and once the amount is exhausted, he will go and submit the petty cash book, which is prepared in the form of statement, to the main cashier and again take the advance amount and start incurring. This is the cycle of the petty cash expenses being incurred. Very simple. Clear? Now, once you know this, what you need to do here is, whatever I written here, all this I already explained to you. So you just pause this video. I'll clean this up. You just pause this video and read that. You will understand. In case if I wouldn't have covered any point here, if you think that you need some clarity, please comment on my video. I will absolutely clarify your doubts. Right? This is one. Now I will show you the specimen. Then I'll ask you certain questions. Okay? Let me show you the specimen. Okay, now specimen I will show along with the problem so that it will be easy. See, this is the specimen of petty cash book. Here you see receipts he mentioned here. What is this receipts? This is the receipt provided by main cashier to the petty cashier. I told you, right? Main cashier will give 1000 bucks to petty cashier and ask him to incur the petty expenses. So that 1000 bucks, whatever given to the petty cashier, has to be recorded in receipt side. Has to be recorded in receipt side. That is one. Next. So here we learned about receipts. Next, date. What is that? Date we incurred expenditure. The date has to be kept here. Next, voucher number. I told you about voucher. Whoever wants to incur or whoever wants to pay some petty expenses, they will go to petty cashier with the voucher. That voucher number has to be mentioned here. And particulars. Particulars is nothing but whatever type of expenses you are incurring, those type of expenses have to be shown here. While explaining the problem, you will understand in total. Then here, the total column. This is the total expenses they incurred against each category. That will be mentioned here. And this is very important. This is the category of expenses. Krishna, for each and every category, I need to create one column here. See, for example, conveyance, one column, cartage, one column, stationery, one column, postage and telegrams, one column, wages, one column, sundries, one column. Like this, how many type of expenses I need to create columns? The doubt will be there for you. You don't require to create, one column for each expenditure. Not required. You can decide common, 5 to 6 or maximum 7 to 8 expenses. And rest you can put it in sundries. Sundries is nothing but miscellaneous. You can say if there is no specific category already mentioned here, you can put them in sundries. That's okay. But is there any hard and fast rule that these are the categories at any cost I need to maintain? There is no hard and fast rule. It is petty cashier decision. Whatever categories you wanted to maintain, you can maintain, and rest you can put it in sundries. Anyway, while reading this problem, I will tell you what has been mentioned here and how this expenses can be segregated. But what you need to understand here is receipts is important, mandatory column. Date is a mandatory column. Voucher number is a mandatory column. Particulars is a mandatory column. Total is a mandatory column. Till this time, this is mandatory for you. You have to maintain at any cost. But this category is something which you can decide. Based on the problem, you can decide this category. But make sure that you are appropriately creating the columns. When there is no conveyance in the problem, you can't create a conveyance column. There is no point, there is no meaning in it. Right? When there is no postage, expenses given in the problem, there is no point in creating postage expenses column here. Clear? So you need to be little bit applying your brain when we are creating these expenses. I'll try my level best to explain by looking at the problem what sort of categories we need to keep it here. That you can put. But don't worry about these categories. These categories you can decide. Nobody is going to cut your marks because these are the categories. The decision will be taken by the petty cashier and that decision should be sensible. That's all you need to make sure. Are you clear? Let us get into the problem now. So what is that problem says? Prepare a petty cash book on the Imprest system for the following. Received 100 rupees for petty cash. I'm not reading because of the video length. But while reading itself, I'll explain the problem. Oh no, sorry. I think I need to read the problem because I need to explain the categories of expenses here, right? So let us read the problem. So received 100 rupees for petty cash. You know where to record this in receipt side. Very clear. Next, paid bus fare. Bus fare you can pay. You can pay train fare. You can pay taxi fare. You can pay auto fare. All these things you can categorize into conveyance. Don't create a column called bus fare, auto fare, train fare, taxi fare. It doesn't look nice. Okay, there is no point in creating for each category of bus fare one column, train fare one column, taxi fare one column. It doesn't look nice. All these taxi, bus, train, everything put together, you can create one column which is called conveyance column. Are you okay with that? So whatever bus fare, or taxi fare, or expenses are being incurred, you can put it under conveyance column. See what is that they have done? See, they have created a conveyance. Yeah, conveyance here. They have created a conveyance column. Institute. This is an institute solution, right? They have created. So conveyance. This is perfectly fine. Next, paid cartage. Cartage. Cartage is what? Your freight charges for bringing your any material to your premises, to your office. So cartage, you can create one category. So cartage expenses also we created one. Next, paid for postage and telegrams. Postage and telegrams will be there in any organization as a petty expenditure. Let us create one column for postage and telegrams. So postage and telegrams one column is created. Next, paid wages for casual labor. Wages. This is also common in any manufacturing unit. There will be some small labor charges, wages we would be incurring. So those wages also let us create one column. We created one column for wages. Next, paid for stationery. Stationery also common expenditure. Wherever you go to, whichever organization you go, postage will be there, stationery will be there, cartage will be there, wages will be there. These are all the common. So as soon as you see these names, you can create one column. These are all very important. So stationery also we created one column. Next, next one is paid Tonga charges. Do you know what is Tonga? Do you know what is Tonga? This is the two-wheeler with horse riding. Horse, not riding, horse vehicle. Two-wheelers with horse, right? So, Tonga charges you can create under, you can put it in conveyance charges. You can put it in conveyance charges. Paid for repairs to the chairs. Repairs to the chairs, there is no separate column required. You can put it in sundries. Or if you want to create repairs also, you can create. There is no harm in this. I am saying, let us go ahead and put it in sundries. Next, bus fare. Do you really need to create another column? Because you have already conveyance column. Let us put it in conveyance column. Cartage. You already created cartage. You create cartage. Next, postage and telegrams. We have already created. So we keep it there. Total Tonga charges already created as conveyance. So we are going to keep it in Tonga charges. Cartage. We already created. We kept in cartage. Stationery. We already created stationery. We'll keep it there. Reimbursement to refreshments to customers, that we can put it in sundries. Another important point you need to keep in mind here is, while going through this problem itself, okay, for example, bus fare, I'll put it in conveyance. One column I already created. Cartage, I will create another column. Let us put it 2. Postage and telegrams, I'll keep it 3. Paid wages, I'll make it 4. Stationery, I'll make it 5. Tonga charges, I already created conveyance, not required. Repairs, I will make it as sundry. So 6th column. Bus fare, I kept it in conveyance. Cartage, I have already created. Postage and telegrams, I already created. Like this, if you need to go through and see, make sure that you don't create more than 6-7 categories. Make sure that you don't create more than 6-7 categories. Then again, Tonga charges, conveyance, cartage, stationery, reimbursement to customers, refreshment to customers, you can put it in sundries. That is how, by reading the problem, while reading the problem itself, you decide how many category of expenses you can decide. Krishna, in problem I understand. Practically, how do I know? Practically, you can decide based on your experience. You will get to know what sort of petty expenses you are paying. Based on that, you can create that. That is not a problem at all. But in problem, what you are supposed to do, because it is going to come in your examination, right? So what you need to do is, by going through this problem itself, you need to mark, okay, how many categories I need to create. Those many categories you note down separately. 1, I'll write cartage. 2, I'll write conveyance. 3, I'll write postage and stamp. So like this, you need to create columns like this. Clear? Now what we will do? Received 100 rupees for petty cash. Cash. Receipt side, we are saying cash. To cash. Why? Why? Tell me. Cash book, what did I say in cash book? Receipts will be recorded in debit side, payments will be recorded in credit side. Do you agree with me? Receipts will be recorded in debit side, payments will be recorded in credit side. In receipt side, debit side, what do we do? To. Credit side, what do we do? Buy. Am I right? In cash book, Receipts will be in debit side, payments will be in credit side. Receipt side, debit side, how do we record? To. In payment side, how do we record? By. So when there is a receipt, so to cash account, we need to write, and you need to put that amount here in receipt side, and the date you need to put in date column. Are you clear? So receipts will come this side. Here total column you should not mention that receipt. Receipt is coming under receipts column. Clear? Next. Bus fare, right? Conveyance, by conveyance. Conveyance expenses account debit to cash account entry, right? So by conveyance. By conveyance, first you need to put in total column. Two times you need to record. First in total column and second in respective column. First total column I put 50 paisa, and conveyance column, because it is conveyance expenditure, right? So it will come under conveyance column. Are you clear? Right. Next. Paid cartage. You have a cartage expenses separate column created. So by cartage we will put, date also we will put, sorry, date, this is not date, this is voucher, and this is the date, same date only. So by cartage we put, and first you need to put the amount, every amount you need to put it in total column except receipts. So we mentioned 2.5 in total column. Which column you need to put this 2.5? Under cartage, because cartage is the expenditure. Clear? Next. Paid postage and telegrams. You have created a postage and telegram separate column. So by postage and telegram. Why by postage and telegrams? What is the entry? Postage and telegram expenses debit to petty cash account. So petty cash account we will say by postage and telegrams. Simple. All expenses will be, payments will be recorded in credit side. So that is the reason I am writing by postage and telegrams. This is applicable to all expenses. I don't require to repeat again the same point. So by postage and telegrams, and I need to put how much? So the amount 5 rupees, and I need to put in postage. Total column once I need to put, and second time I need to put it in respective column. So total column I put 5 rupees, and postage and telegrams under category I need to put this 5 rupees as well. Clear? Right. Next. Paid wages for casual laborers. By wages. So 6 rupees. 6 rupees I need to put it in total column. And I also created wages column separately. So I need to put that amount in wages column. This is a category. Next, stationery. By stationery I need to put, dates are common, voucher numbers are common. Here voucher numbers are given. So I'm not explaining that. You need to put the voucher numbers accordingly. And then by stationery only, data by stationery 4 rupees in total column, and stationery column you need to put that 4 rupees. Clear? Next, by Tonga charges conveyance only. By conveyance you can put, and total column you need to put, and then conveyance column you need to put this amount. Next, paid for repairs to chair. By repairs and for repairs to furniture, 15 rupees I kept in total column, and I also kept the same amount in sundries column, because I have not created a separate column for repairs and maintenance here. Hence, I am keeping that amount in sundries, general expenses. Right? Next, bus fare. So conveyance. Bus fare is conveyance. So conveyance column, I kept that amount. Cartage. By cartage. You have to put this amount in total column. Cartage, you have a separate column. We kept that in separate column. Next, postage and telegrams. By postage and telegrams, postage and telegrams, you have a separate column. We mentioned that amount in that column, and also kept that amount in total column. Clear? Tonga charges. Again, Tonga charges is nothing but conveyance. So total column I kept 3, and conveyance column also I kept 3 rupees. Then cartage. By cartage, 3 rupees in total column. You have a separate column for cartage. You kept that amount in cartage column. Are you clear? Next, stationery. You have 2 rupees. So by stationery, 2 rupees kept in total column, and 2 rupees kept in stationery column. So that is very important. Refreshment to customers, 5 rupees. By general expenses, you can say, because why you don't have a separate column for refreshments, it has to go in sundry column. So kept 5 rupees in total column and 5 rupees in sundries column. That's all. Very, very simple petty cash book. You don't require to break your head at all. Simple. What is there, rocket science in this? Very easy, right? After posting all these transactions, just total the respective columns. So this is total of conveyance, this is the total for cartage, this is the total for stationery, this is the total for postage, and this is the total for wages, and this is the total for sundry expenses. Similar way, you need to total the total column. Total column, when I total, it has come to 60 rupees. And you have 100 rupees of advance. So you need to put the same 100 rupees total here, and 100 minus 60, 40 is the balance. What you need to do? By balance carried down. Why balance carried down? Because debit side it is high, receipt side it is high. Debit side is nothing but your receipt side. Receipt side amount is higher, so you totaled this side and kept the same amount, and balanced it. You got 40 rupees, and to balance brought down, you need to put this 40 rupees in receipt side because that is the amount. Then how much Imprest you get next time, next month you get, already you have 40. Imprest is given 100, right? In that you are still left with 40 rupees. So main cashier will give you another 60 rupees. Then you will say to cash and put your 60 rupees. Let me clear this. So what you will say, to cash account 60 rupees, and it will become 100. Then again you will start incurring expenses for next month. That's all. That's all is our petty cash book. Guys, I'm done with cash book now. I'm leaving it to you. You need to go through all my videos. If you have any doubts, please comment on my video. I'm not seeing any comments. People are not asking any doubts. Either you are not watching the full video, or you don't have any doubts, or I don't have students monitoring my videos. There could be there could be some reason for that, right? So I know very well that I don't have many, student base, because I stopped working as a lecturer long back. So I don't have student base. So obviously, unless students come, I think my views will not improve. My people watching this video will not improve. So I'm eagerly waiting for students to come back again and start watching my videos. So start watching and let me know if you have any doubts. Comment on my video. I'm there to help you. I'm there to clarify your doubts. As I said previously, once my student base is increased, I'm going to come on YouTube live and I clarify all your respective chapter doubts. That's my promise. Okay? That's all from my end, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.